You ever have that feeling like you're just being carried along by a current, pulled by desires, old habits, just the momentum of life itself, and you're not really sure you're the one steering? It's a feeling we all get. And what's wild is that an ancient text talked about this very same thing thousands of years ago. But they didn't just describe the problem, they drew a map to freedom. So let's dive into this amazing metaphor.
All right, so the story starts with this image. Picture it. You're in a river. And honestly, it's pretty nice. The journey feels pleasant, the water's warm, the view is beautiful. It's so easy, right? Almost effortless to just float, to let the current do all the work. This right here, this is the starting point for a really powerful way of looking at our lives.
But of course, this isn't just any river. It has a name. It has a nature that's, well, it's woven right into our own minds, into our psychology. And it has this power over us that we don't even notice most of the time. So let's take a closer look at this current that's carrying us along.
Okay, so the ancient Pali word for this current is tanha. The best way to translate that is thirst, or maybe more simply, craving. And what's so deep about this is how the text explains it. See, it's not just about wanting that new phone or a different job. No, it's this fundamental, deep-down thirst for pleasant feelings and just the sheer relentless drive to keep on existing. That's the engine of this whole river.
So why does it feel so good to just go with the flow? Well, the text says the river is piyarupam satarupam. That means it's just filled with things that are dear and agreeable to us. It's that first sip of coffee in the morning, hearing a song you love, seeing a gorgeous sunset. All of our senses are constantly feeding into this river, making its pull feel, well, not just natural, but really, really good.
But, and you knew there was a but coming, the beauty of this river is a little deceptive. Because just under that pleasant surface, there are some serious dangers lurking. This whole journey isn't nearly as safe as it feels.
And this is where the metaphor gets super specific. You see that deep, dark pool? That represents what they call the 5 fetters. These are like mental chains, things like ego and doubt that keep us stuck. And those sudden, violent waves, that's us, our own outbursts of anger and frustration. The whirlpool? Oh yeah, that's the dizzying spin of chasing one pleasure after another, just going in circles, never really getting anywhere. And the monsters? There are attachments, the things that grab onto us and just will not let go.
So you have to wonder, where is all this water even coming from? The texts point to 4 main sources, 4 springs that feed this river of craving. Now, 3 of them are what you'd expect, our basic needs for clothing, food, and a place to stay. But it's the 4th one that really hits you. It's the craving for existence and even for non-existence. That deep desire to become something different, or the opposite, the desire to just escape everything. It's wild. Even our most basic survival instincts are feeding this current. So, right when it feels pretty hopeless, you're lost in this dangerous river, the story introduces something new. A total shift in perspective, a voice of hope, really.
The text talks about a kakuma purusha, basically a person with vision, with clear sight, who's standing safely on the shore. And from there, they can see the whole thing. They see the pleasant beginning, they see all the hidden dangers downstream, and they see where the river ultimately goes. And they call out, trying to warn us. This person, as the metaphor goes, is the Buddha, the one who's woken up and sees the way out.
So what's this person on the shore offering us? Well, the teachings make a really important distinction here. First, there's what they call amisadana, or material gifts. Think of it like throwing a life raft to someone in the river. It helps for sure, but it's temporary. But then there's dhammadana, the gift of the teaching itself. And that is called the supreme gift. Why? Because it's not just a temporary fix, it's the actual know-how, the map to get out of the river for good.
And at the very heart of that teaching, you find the 4 noble truths. It's kind of like a doctor's diagnosis and prescription. First, you have to acknowledge the reality of the situation. Being swept along by this current is, at its core, stressful and unsatisfying. Second, you need to understand why. What's the cause? It's that deep thirst, that tanha. Third, and this is the hopeful part, you have to realize that there is an end to this. It's possible to get out. And fourth, here's how. Here is the actual path to get to the other shore.
Okay, so the warning has been shouted from the shore. The path has been laid out. Now comes the tough part. Actually, doing the swimming.
The Pali term for this is patisotam, which literally means against the current. Now, this isn't about fighting the world outside of you. It's an internal shift. It's all about nekama, which means renunciation, or simply letting go. It's that conscious choice you make to stop drifting and start moving in the opposite direction of all that craving. It's deciding, okay, I'm turning around.
And here's a really crucial point. The person on the shore can yell out instructions all day long, but they can't jump in the water and swim for you. The text is crystal clear on this. The strenuous effort, the virya arambha, has to be made with your own hands and feet. Nobody else can do it. This whole freedom thing, it's a personal project. It takes your own energy.
Now, if you're going to swim against a strong current, you've got to travel light, right? You can't be weighed down by a bunch of extra stuff. So this is a list of the 4 essentials described as blameless and easy to get. We're talking about robes made from scraps, simple food you'd get from alms, shelter under a tree, and even basic medicine made from fermented urine. Now, the point isn't that we all have to go live like this. It's about the principle behind it. Getting free requires a kind of radical simplicity.
And the real struggle here isn't even external. Actually, the most important work is all happening inside. The texts say it doesn't matter if you're walking, standing, sitting, or lying down, you just can't tolerate these unwholesome thoughts. You know the ones, thoughts of lust, of anger, of wanting to harm someone. Those thoughts are the little currents and eddies that make up the whole river. The real practice is just to let them go, to abandon them, and not let them pull you under, one moment at a time. So after all that work, the letting go, the inner watchfulness, the really, really hard swimming, what's the destination? What's it like to actually get across the river? The other side, the other shore, is called nibbana. And it's not some kind of heaven or a place you go when you die. It's described as a state of being, something you can realize right here, right now. It is the ultimate security, a place where all those dangerous currents in the river just can't reach you anymore. It is, quite simply, freedom. And the text gives us a little glimpse of what that feels like. It talks about a peace that is just supreme, a state that is totally free from fear. And why? Because there's nothing left that can be threatened. All those bonds, those attachments that created the fear in the first place, they've all been let go. The person who makes it across is called the Tathagata, and this is someone who completely understands the world, but isn't tangled up in it anymore. They've conquered their own inner struggles, so nothing in the world can conquer them. What they say and what they do are in perfect harmony. They are, as the text so powerfully puts it, an unsurpassed lion, completely fearless, completely majestic. So, there it is. This incredible ancient metaphor lays it all out. We're in a river, it feels good, but it's full of hidden dangers that just lead to more struggle. But there's a voice on the shore, a teaching that shows us the way out. That path requires our own effort, a commitment to simplicity, and a ton of inner work. And the destination? It's a peace that is supreme and totally without fear. So that just leaves us with one final question. A question only you can answer for yourself. The voice from the shore is calling. Which way are you going to swim?